Hello friends, welcome back to Constantly Abiding. My name is Ruth if you're new here, and on this channel I like to talk about all things pertaining to home, homeschooling, home decor, and homesteading. During the winter time, I love to make soups and chilies for my family. On this video, we're bringing you along as I make a stock pot full of taco soup. Now, this is a soup that I've been making for years, and I did not go by a recipe for this video because I've made it so many times. I know how it should look, and I can kind of tweak it for how much seasoning I want to put in, how many vegetables to meat ratio I want. Really, at this point, it's just how do I want to make the soup. I know the ingredients that go in the soup, and I'm going to put those in the show notes if you're interested. But as far as measuring everything, I don't really have to do that. I just dump it all in there, as you can see. The broth you saw me put in the soup was leftover canned turkey broth from Thanksgiving, but you could use beef broth or chicken broth, any kind of broth. It's just to add flavor and liquid. On this particular night, I was making soup using canned vegetables, but I did want to say that you can use bagged vegetables from the frozen section or fresh vegetables, whatever you have on hand. I just happen to have a lot of canned vegetables that I used for this time. I used a mixture of red kidney beans, pinto beans, and black beans for the soup, and I always like to rinse the beans off and strain them before I add them into the stock pot. I make this soup every winter, and I like to make it in really large batches. The stock pot that I filled up for this particular time was smaller than usual, but I take the leftover soup and I dish it into gallon-size Ziploc freezer bags. And these bags of soup are a real lifesaver on a day where I don't have time to get a dinner together, or when we're taking lunch to church on a Sunday. I can put that in the Instant Pot and carry it along with us. And it's just always such a handy thing to have in the freezer. It is such a joy when my little girl comes in and wants to help me. And she is learning, and she is a good helper. I just enjoy her and the time with her so much. I think winter gives us a special opportunity to slow down a bit and to really focus on homemaking. I know for our family, when the spring and summer hits, we're spending longer days outdoors with gardening and bringing in the harvest and preserving food and all of those things. And that season is beautiful too. Every season is beautiful. In fact, the Bible tells us that there is a season for every activity under heaven. But right now, in the winter season, I'm pressing into the shorter days, to the cooler temperatures, to lighting candles and all the cozy things, and focusing on the homemaking skills within the home with the family. Does it have a good flavor?
Again.
Okay. Oh, like to share a small excerpt from the book Every Moment Holy. It says, "Your mercy is manifest in the details of this world, O Lord. Your grace is worked into every corner of creation. Your care is evident in the fabric of all created things, even in the pleasurable and nourishing properties of this meal. For this food and for all small wonders, we give you thanks and we give you praise, O God." One thing we really like to do in our family is to sing a hymn around the dinner table. This doesn't happen all the time, but it is always a joy to our hearts when we take the time to sing to the Lord. I have shared with you my favorite go-to soup for winter time, and I would love to hear from you. Do you have a favorite soup or chili that you always go to every year that serves your family well? If so, would you please tell me in the comments, what do you like to prepare? What is one of your favorite meals that you feed your family with in the colder weather? I was using the rosemary scent from Mrs. Meyer's to spray down the countertops, and I will try to link that in the comments in the show notes. Our stove has some food just kind of cooked on the stove top, and I used the Barkeeper's cream-based cleaner to get that off. It seemed to work well, so I will link that in the show notes. Friends, thank you so much for joining me for this episode. I hope you'll come again.